Welcome, beautiful souls, to our channel. If you yearn to reconnect with your true spiritual power, to step into your divine authority, and finally break free from energies that hold you back, today's video is for you. In today's episode, we dive deep into soul sovereignty, reclaiming your divine authority. We'll explore what soul sovereignty means, why so many of us feel disconnected from it, and most importantly, how you can reclaim this innate power, starting now. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a journey into spiritual growth and empowerment. Do you feel like unseen forces, societal expectations, past traumas, even spiritual dogma were dictating your path? Maybe you are a high achiever, always striving, pleasing, and pushing until one day you feel completely numb. You can have lost sight of who you truly are. In fact, your story isn't unique. It reflects the struggle of millions who, in the busyness of life, hand over their sovereignty to people, to jobs, or to limiting beliefs. For centuries, mystics, philosophers, and indigenous elders have spoken of this truth. You are not just a passenger in your spiritual journey, you are the captain. But somewhere along the way, many of us surrendered our authority to institutions, to fear, to outdated beliefs. Today, we're reclaiming it. Soul sovereignty is about coming home to yourself. It's about remembering that, beyond societal roles and expectations, you are a divine being with agency, wisdom, and authority over your own life. Research in transpersonal psychology highlights the transformative power of spiritual self-realization, and ancient teachings, from the Upanishads to Gnostic texts, have long whispered about our divine inheritance. Soul sovereignty is the unshakable recognition that you are the ultimate authority of your spiritual journey. It means reclaiming the power to define your truth, make aligned choices, and honor your inner wisdom without outsourcing your spiritual autonomy to external systems, be they religious dogma, societal expectations, or even well-meaning spiritual teachers. This concept is rooted in ancient wisdom traditions, from the Gnostic declaration, "Know thyself," to indigenous teachings that view each person as a sacred, self-determining being. At its core, soul sovereignty is about liberation, from fear, from conditioning, and from the illusion that divinity exists outside of you. True sovereignty isn't about rejecting guidance but cultivating discernment. It's the ability to sift through spiritual teachings, cultural narratives, and personal beliefs while asking, does this resonate with my soul's truth? Many spiritual seekers fall into the trap of seeking validation from gurus, astrology, or external rituals, forgetting that the highest wisdom already resides within. Soul sovereignty calls you to trust yourself, to listen to your intuition as the divine compass it is. As the mystic Rumi once wrote, "Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open?" Sovereignty is that open door. Embracing soul sovereignty transforms how you move through the world. It means living authentically, setting boundaries unapologetically, and creating a spirituality that feels like home, not a borrowed costume. When you stand in your sovereignty, you no longer wait for permission to heal, to speak your truth, or to claim your joy. Instead, you recognize that you are the universe in human form, an expression of the divine with the innate right to choose, create, and evolve. This isn't rebellion, it's remembrance. And that, dear soul, is where true power begins. If we all have this crown, why do we forget it? Many factors play a role. One factor is conditioning. From childhood, we're taught to obey, conform, and suppress what makes us unique. Another factor is trauma. Emotional wounds and betrayals can cause us to mistrust our own judgment. Cultural narratives can also be a factor. Societal structures often value compliance over authenticity. As Carl Jung profoundly noted, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This statement cuts to the heart of soul sovereignty, because true spiritual autonomy begins when we shine light on the hidden forces shaping us. Most people live their lives on autopilot, governed by subconscious beliefs imprinted in childhood, cultural conditioning, and past traumas. These invisible scripts dictate choices, relationships, and even spiritual seeking, yet they often go unexamined. Sovereignty demands that we interrogate these unseen influences, because what we don't acknowledge, we unconsciously obey. This is where shadow work becomes essential. The parts of ourselves we deny, our fears, suppressed desires, inherited limitations, don't disappear. They simply operate in the dark, masquerading as fate or bad luck. But when we bring them into awareness, we reclaim authorship of our lives. Imagine a puppet realizing it's been dancing to strings it never saw. Soul sovereignty is the moment you cut those strings and move from your own will. This isn't just psychology, it's alchemy. As Jung also taught, who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. The journey from fate to freedom starts with a simple but radical question. Is this truly my choice, or am I replaying an old program? Every time you pause to ask this, you weaken the grip of the unconscious and strengthen your divine authority. This is how we stop blaming destiny and start co-creating with the universe, no longer passive witnesses to our lives, but conscious architects. Because sovereignty isn't given, it's claimed. And the first step is realizing you were never meant to kneel, not to fate, not to fear, and certainly not to the unseen puppeteers of an unexamined life. Reclaiming your divine authority rests on 3 pillars. Let's break them down. First, self-awareness, the inner compass. Self-awareness is the sacred art of turning inward, the conscious act of observing your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs without judgment or attachment. It is the first and most vital step in reclaiming your soul sovereignty, because you cannot govern what you do not see. Like a mirror reflecting the depths of your soul, self-awareness reveals the hidden patterns, conditioning, and unconscious drivers that shape your reality. When you cultivate this deep inner witnessing, you begin to distinguish between who you truly are and the layers of societal expectations, past wounds, and borrowed identities that have obscured your essence. This is not mere introspection. It is spiritual excavation, unearthing the authentic self beneath the rubble of external influences. Without self-awareness, you remain a prisoner of habit and illusion. With it, you awaken to the power of conscious choice, aligning your life with the truth of your soul rather than the echoes of the past. As the ancient Delphic maxim commands, know thyself, and you will know the universe. Try this. Spend 5 minutes daily in silence. Ask, who am I beneath the conditioning? What do I truly believe? Not my parents, not my culture, I. Second, discernment, breaking free from spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing, the tendency to use spirituality to avoid facing unresolved pain, uncomfortable emotions, or real-world problems, is one of the greatest obstacles to soul sovereignty. It disguises itself as enlightenment, offering lofty platitudes like, just vibrate higher, or, it's all divine timing, while denying the raw, human experience that demands acknowledgement. True spiritual empowerment doesn't transcend reality, it meets it with presence. When we bypass our shadows, we surrender our authority to the illusion of perfection, outsourcing our healing to affirmations, dogmas, or toxic positivity rather than doing the messy, transformative work of integration. Sovereignty requires radical honesty, the willingness to sit with grief, anger, and fear without spiritualizing them away. As psychologist John Wellwood warned, bypassing the full experience of our humanity in the name of spirituality is not enlightenment, it's escapism. To reclaim your divine authority, you must step off the spiritual pedestal and into the fire of authentic transformation, where real growth begins. And third, embodied power, walking your truth. True sovereignty isn't just a philosophy, it's a practice, a daily commitment to aligning your actions with your deepest truth. Embodied power means stepping out of the realm of ideas and into the courageous act of living what you believe, setting boundaries, speaking your truth unapologetically, and making choices that honor your soul, even when it's uncomfortable. It's the difference between knowing you're divine and acting as if you are. Too often, spirituality remains abstract, confined to meditation cushions or inspirational quotes, but real power emerges when wisdom takes root in the physical world, through your voice, your decisions, and your presence. This is where you move from seeking permission to declaring your autonomy, trusting that your intuition is not just a whisper but a compass. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you reclaim a fragment of your sovereignty. As the mystic poet Rumi reminds us, why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Walking your truth isn't about perfection, it's about showing up imperfectly and unarmed in a world that often rewards conformity. When you embody your power, you don't just believe in transformation, you become it. As you reclaim your authority, you'll notice subtle but profound shifts, clearer intuition, healthier relationships, a new sense of freedom. You start living from your center, not the world's edges. Remember, soul sovereignty isn't about rejecting others, but honoring your truth as part of the whole human family. Your soul's sovereignty is your birthright. It's time to step into your divine authority and live fearlessly from your heart. If today's video inspired you, like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to reclaim their crown. And let us know in the comments, how are you reclaiming your soul sovereignty? Until next time, remember, you are not here to beg for crumbs of wisdom. You are the source. So I ask you, where have you given your power away? And what would change if you took it back?